So that's just a little bit about my experience, and I'm now going to hand it back over to Ali, our 14-year-old teen ambassador, who came with us on the trip. So Ali was one of our nuns, and she's going to give you some insights from the trip herself now. Thank you.
I apologise, I did not get to learn this entire speech because there were so many words and so much that I had to say. I don't know how to learn it all because, as you can see, it's like font 11 and it's a lot. So those of you that know me know that giving back and charity is something that's always been very important to me. From a young age at my previous school, the school would run charity events and projects to help give back to charity. But coming to a new school where the focus was primarily on performing arts, I had less of an opportunity to give back. That was until I met Kathy. 15 months ago, in the very early stages of Moeloco. A walk along DY Beach later, and 7 days in India, we're standing here, celebrating the birthday of Moeloco and our incredible trip to Kolkata. India is somewhere I never imagined I would visit. And now I'm planning my second trip. We were able to see all the hard work and dedication has paid off, and visiting the incredible Hope kids that are living in the Hope slums and in the protection homes. These incredible children have been through so much, and thanks to Hope and now Moeloco, their lives are being changed for good. One of the most vivid memories that I have from the trip happened the day that we visited the river slum. We first visited the Hope Creche, which was probably around this portion of the room alone, and was filled with up to 50, maybe 60 young children. As they greeted us, they sang Twinkle Twinkle Little Star to us in a combination of Bengali and English. Oh, it's cutting out. Though they were so proud, we were followed by women and children who were so proud to show us everything that they owned, but though it may seem little to us, it was their entire world, and they were so proud to share it with us. But it wasn't until we had left the inside of the slum that this moment happened that has followed me since we left India. As we walked out, the rest of the nuns had moved on down to the river with some of the other locals from the slum, but I stayed back with some of the children to talk to them about what it was like to live there. In a split second, two young men in their 20s came speeding past on a motorcycle down the dirt road. The road was filled with a fog of dust. The men had bandanas across their face, and two young girls next to me ducked down and whispered to me, "Gang." It wasn't until I had reached the safety of our hotel, protected by tall concrete walls, that I realized what had happened. These slums are run by gang members. They are mostly responsible for the trafficking and often, at a young age, harm the children so that they can be used as beggars for money. As I recount this now, I can so vividly remember the terror in some of those children's faces as they ducked down hoping not to be seen. It made me realize how lucky I am to be able to come home to such a safe environment. On a lighter note, it was a mixed experience, was visiting the Hope Hospital. One of the girls that stood out to us was a young girl named Ria. She had been found by a cleaner at a train station on the train tracks, wrapped in a garbage bag and newspaper to be run over by a train. The cleaner found her crying, limbs twisted, and took her into the Hope Hospital. Looking at her, she may have looked 2, maybe 3 years old, but in fact she was 8 to 10 years old. The damage that they had done to her made her look so small. She may have been physically disabled, but she was so highly intelligent and could understand everything that was saying to her. I did promise that this would be a happy story. As we spoke to her and tried to communicate with her, she grinned a great big smile and she danced for us. This was one of the most incredible moments of the trip for myself and for all of the nuns. It was so beautiful, and I am now happy to say that Ria has found a safe home where she is loved for and cared for. I never would have been able to meet any of these people without the people that are in this room. I would like to say a big thank you to Kathy for welcoming me into the Moeloco community 15 months ago, and for every experience after. I want to say a big thank you to our host for the night, Anthony, for being a source of inspiration for us and providing many laughs and a new language along the way. A big thank you to our photographer Gareth for the night and another member of the Flying Nuns for documenting our Indian journey so incredibly and allowing us to continue to relive our memories. And finally, a big thank you to my mum for being there in some of the hardest parts of the trip and helping getting me through it. And of course, I can't forget Matt and Liv, the other members of our Flying Nuns. Liv, unfortunately, couldn't be with us too. And of course, I cannot forget all of you for making this India dream possible. Thank you all for being here tonight, for supporting Moeloco all the way. So just while we get the music to load, I will be singing to you a song that I'm hoping most of you know. It is Waiting on the World to Change by John Mayer.
We are all misunderstood. They say we stand for nothing, and there's no way we ever could. But we see what's going on with the world and those who lead it. We just don't feel we have the power to do the work. So we keep waiting, waiting, waiting on the world to change. We keep on waiting, waiting, waiting on the world to change. It's hard to beat the system when you're standing at a distance. So we keep waiting, waiting, waiting on the world to change. Oh, and if we had the power to bring our neighbors home from war, they would never miss the Christmas, no more ribbons on their door. And when you trust your television, what they give is what you got. Cause when they own the information, they can vent it all they want. So we keep waiting, waiting, waiting on the world to change. And we keep waiting, waiting, waiting on the world to change. We know that we don't care, we just don't think the fight is fair. We keep waiting, waiting, waiting on the world to change.
The fact that each and every one of you are here today means that, just like myself, Kathy, Maureen, Anthony, and all of the Flying Nuns, you have decided that it's time to stop waiting for a change to happen in the world. It's time to start being the change that we need to see. And I am gathering you all know the words by now, so I would love you to sing along, just following my lead.
So we keep waiting, waiting, waiting on the world to change. We keep on waiting, waiting, waiting on the world to change. One day my generation is gonna rule the population. So we keep waiting, waiting, waiting on the world to change. Waiting on the world to change. We're waiting on the world to change. 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 Waiting on the world to change.
Kitinas. It's so inspiring to see young people changing the world like this. And I'm just looking down, what's this little one's name here? Georgia. Can you just stand up, Georgia? And isn't Georgia... Are you going to talk about Georgia? Yeah, come and talk about Georgia, because I just find this such an inspiring story about this little girl. Do you want to come out here, stand with Kathy?
So Georgia is our youngest little ambassador here. How old are you, Georgia?
7.
Georgia's just turned 7, and we're about to launch our new Hope for Children's Kids range. And Georgia is the designer of our first child's thong. And over on the raffle table, there's actually a piece of Georgia's beautiful artwork in the corner. Tell us about that. That's called the landscape. I think it's called Reflections, isn't it, Georgia? Yes, and that's a piece of artwork. What age were you when you did that?
6.
So she was 6 when she did that. So anyway, that's one of the beautiful prizes that are on offer that Georgia has very kindly donated. So thank you, my love, for that. You can go sit down now. Thank you, Georgia.